The phone rang at 3:17 a.m. on a Thursday in late October. The kind of night where the air feels sharp enough to cut glass and the moon hangs low, warning of danger. I was half awake, the way parents become when their children no longer live under the same roof, where every creak of the house could be a footstep or a heartbeat. The ringtone was Emily's favorite song, Sunflower Skies by Nova Ray, slowed to a haunting piano version she had set years ago back when she was 15, convinced the world would end if her playlist wasn't perfect. My hand found the phone in the dark, thumbs fumbling before my eyes adjusted. The caller ID glowed, Emmy Bear. "Dad," she whispered, voice trembling like a leaf caught in a storm, barely audible over the buzzing fluorescent lights in the background. "I'm at the police station. My stepfather, he beat me, but now he's telling them I attacked him, and they believe him." The words hit like ice water, shocking every nerve awake. I was already throwing on jeans, phone pressed between shoulder and ear, heart racing. "Stay calm, Em. I'm coming. Don't say another word until I'm there. Not one. Do you hear me?" I tried to fight back, but he's bigger, and the officers—" Her sob cracked raw through the line. "There's blood on my hoodie, Dad! My hoodie! Please, hurry!" Then silence. 3:19 a.m. I grabbed my keys, wallet, and the old leather jacket I hadn't worn since the academy, the one with frayed cuffs, the faint scent of gun oil trapped in the lining. My truck roared to life before I even closed the door. The streets were empty, cold fog curling along the asphalt. Each red light felt like an insult, each shadow a taunt. Richard. Of course it was Richard, Lisa's husband of 4 years. Smooth stories, expensive watches, a laugh that never reached his eyes. He told me once that Emily was just going through a phase when she came home with a C in algebra. I wanted to believe him. I wanted my daughter to have a stable home while I worked double shifts at the security firm. What a fool I had been. The precinct loomed ahead, fluorescent lights spilling onto wet pavement like the glow of a crime scene reversed. I parked crooked across 2 spaces, didn't care. Inside, the smell of burnt coffee, bleach, and something metallic, blood, fear, or both, hit me. Sergeant Mallory glanced up, recognized me. Harlan, retired detective, badge 4729. She waved me through without a word, eyes flicking to the holding area with something close to pity. Emily sat on a metal bench, knees drawn to her chest, one wrist cuffed to the rail with a plastic zip tie that had already cut red lines into her skin. A bruise the color of ripe plum bloomed across her left cheekbone. Her right eye was swelling shut, dried blood crusted above her eyebrow. She wore the navy blue hoodie she had borrowed from my closet last summer, now torn and soaked with her blood. When she saw me, her face crumpled, and she tried to stand, but the cuff jerked her back. Across the room, Richard Lang, 6'2", broad shoulders, meticulously styled hair, leaned against the counter. His lower lip was split, a thin line of dried blood at the corner, a shallow scratch along his jaw. Half smile, rehearsed, arms crossed, as though he owned the room. A young officer approached, badged J. Carter, barely 20, pale as printer paper. "Mr. Harlan, I'm sorry. I didn't know." Didn't know what? That I was her father? That I'd spent 22 years putting men like Richard behind bars? That I still had friends in every precinct from here to the county line? Friends who owed me favors older than this kid? Carter led me past the desk into a side office. Richard straightened, smirk faltering for half a second before snapping back. Emily lifted her head, eyes wide with hope and terror. Hope that I could fix this, terror that I couldn't. "Cut the zip tie," I said flat as steel. Carter hesitated. Ramirez, another officer I recognized from the academy, stepped forward with a small blade slicing the plastic in one motion. Emily rubbed her wrist, then ran to me, body shaking. I scanned every mark under the harsh lights, finger-shaped bruises on her upper arms, cuts above her eyebrow, split lips, faint scent of vanilla and fear. Richard cleared his throat. She came at me with a kitchen knife, Harlan. I was defending myself. Look at my face. Look at my arms. She scratched me enough to scar. Emily's voice cracked. He grabbed me by the hair. Dad slammed my face into the counter 3 times. I never touched the knife. I was trying to get to the door. Carter's gaze darted between us, sweat beading on his forehead. He pulled me aside. Your daughter's phone. It recorded the whole thing. Audio only. She hit record when she dialed 911. We listened. It doesn't match Lang's statement, not even close. Richard's face twitched. That could be edited. AI apps. Carter ignored him. Ramirez stood guard outside, silent. There's more. The 911 call was made at 11:47 p.m. He's hurting me. Please hurry. He won't stop. Then a crash, a scream, and the line went dead. We had the timestamp. Richard's smirk was gone, replaced with cold calculation. Carter swiped on his tablet. Security cam footage from the apartment hallway. Emily dragged inside by her stepfather at 11:42 p.m., no knife in hand, fighting to escape. Lights out. 43 seconds later, she stumbles out alone, hoodie half off, calling 911 from a payphone confirmed to be working. Emily buried her face in my shoulder, tears soaking my shirt. I thought no one would believe me. Richard's criminal history, 3 domestic complaints, juvenile records, even his brother's threat from prison, all appeared in the system. The hall tilted with memories of old cases, revenge, hatred. Every detail pointed to him. Richard Lang, Carter said, voice steady. You are under arrest for assault in the 2nd degree, filing a false report, witness intimidation, and destruction of evidence. Richard lunged, not at the officers, but at Emily. Muscle memory kicked in. I shoulder-checked him into the wall. Handcuffs snapped on, steel this time. Ramirez read his rights as he spat curses. Carter removed his hat, cheeks flushed with shame. I owe you both an apology. I took his story at face value. Won't happen again. Emily's fingers dug into mine. Can we go home? Not yet, I said softly. Photos, statements, the works. Every bruise documented. In the ER, nurses worked quietly, charting every mark. The bruise on the cheekbone, the split lip, the fingerprint welts, old fractures. A social worker interviewed Emily, her voice calm, protective. The doctor's glance confirmed suspicion, old injuries, recent abuse. Emily would need follow-up therapy. At home on Maple Lane, Dawn painted the sky lavender and peach. Emily sipped hot chocolate from her green dinosaur mug, wrapped in a blanket. The bruise looked worse in daylight. I should have told you sooner, she whispered. About the yelling, the cornering, the threats, the manipulation. You're safe now, I said, and you're never going back there, not ever. Lisa arrived from Denver later that day, eyes red, hair on a messy bun. She hugged Emily tightly. I should have seen. I should have listened. Weeks passed, evidence mounted. Neighbors came forward, ring cameras, hidden knives, blood-stained clothes. Richard's lies crumbled. He took a plea. 7 years, no parole for 5, permanent restraining order. Lisa filed for divorce, and Emily moved in permanently. Over months, therapy, routines, trust rebuilt, we developed signals. 3 knocks, 2 knocks back. Movie nights, homework, debates, sleepovers under string lights. Emily began reclaiming her life. A year later, she turned 18. A backyard party, string lights, friends, family. She handed me a small wooden box. Inside, a silver keychain engraved Harland Protocol. For survivors. For officers who learned to listen. Emily would grow to inspire policy changes, advocacy in schools, trauma awareness. Carter would visit, mentorship programs started. Emily's scars became symbols of survival, resilience. And still some nights, I hear the ringtone at 3:17 a.m. Sunflower skies, slowed to piano, Emily's voice cracking, saying, Dad. The story doesn't end in a precinct. It ends on a porch swing, under string lights, with a girl who learned to speak her truth, a mother who learned to listen,
and a father who learned that justice isn't always a badge, it's showing up.